afternoon. I've had a lot of starts and stops today. It's Sunday, July 5th, the day after the 4th of July, and I've been working for the past 3 or 4 days on my project of trying to get some spaces to join with all of you together and places for us to meet or work together. And also on my schoolwork, there's classes ending and classes starting. Also, this piece I'm working on that's almost done, that supposedly we're going to do the end of July, although I don't know whether COVID's going to interfere with that. I don't know what else, but there's a lot. Oh, I'm getting my outdoor studio ready to work in because I've got to do a transparent dyed silk piece to overlay over the top of it. That's going to be big and dimensional. And so it's been late nights and early mornings. I'm often up at 4:30, 5 o'clock, sometimes even 3:30. I get up and I start working. I get a lot of my best thinking done early in the morning. Today, I listened to a little video by a woman named Angela Duckworth, and the title of this video is Grit. And the concept of it and what it has to do with what I'm talking about, and in a way, all of these rulers that you see, which are, you can measure many miles of thread and fabric, it's that life, and I didn't make this up, but life is a marathon and not a sprint. And what that means is that I have found that if I work on whatever I'm doing every day, even if I don't feel like it, even if I have no idea what I'm going to do when I come down here, even these videos, I've been pretty good at trying to get one out every day. I've missed a few days. And sometimes I'm like, what am I going to say? Are people going to listen? And I do it anyway because it's good for me. I get good practice. I can articulate better. If you've never tried doing videos for other people to watch, try it. And I watched back a couple of my videos from earlier this month, and I was like, I'm glad I said that. I forgot all about that. So anyway, that's a kind of grit, doing this even when I'm not sure how it's going to go. But my relationship to it has to do with another concept that's always been threaded throughout my work. Oh my goodness, since 1990 or even earlier, maybe even the 80s. And I'm not sure exactly when the quote was. I know certainly 1997, I had it written on my studio wall. One of my favorite artists is Jasper Jones. I love the post-expressionists anyway. And he has a lot of different, he's been through a lot of incarnations. He's got what you want to call a growth mindset, which is he never stayed in one pattern. He would do a body of work until he was done with it, and he'd do the next thing, then he'd do the next thing. But he said, do something, then do something else to it, and then do something else to it. So in other words, you have whatever it is you're working on, like I have this, right? This little thing, which really started out just to be this little thing. And then I sewed this on. And then I sewed this on. Well, plus it was just plain white fabric before I dyed it, but that's a whole other story. I don't know what this is going to turn into. This little thing that's like the size of my face could end up being 20 feet wide by the time I'm done with it. It's a process, which life is kind of a process like that too. Ditch digging, which is one of the things I talk about a lot. You pick up a shovel full of dirt, you stick it in there, you throw the dirt over the side, and before you know it, you've gone a quarter of a mile from the top to the bottom of the driveway. That takes grit. But when you're done, the water isn't going to dam up and make a big mess over the driveway and wash out all the gravel that you just bought and paid for. Another artist that I really like, John Cage, he wrote a whole treatise on boredom. And he talked about the fact that do something for a couple minutes. And if you're bored by it, do it longer. And if you're bored by it again, do it for half an hour. And it seems like, oh my word, if you were bored by doing something for 4 minutes, wouldn't it be excruciating to be doing it for hours? Now, yes, but where grit comes into that, or this concept of a stitch after another one, or anything you're doing, it doesn't even have to be repetitive. Maybe you're a video editor and you spend hours and hours videoing or editing videos, which I'm just learning how to do, and it's not easy, I can tell you. Or even, I can only speak from my own experience. I have people in my life, for example, that are researchers, and they have to compile miles and miles of research data, say in psychology, say in behavioral psychology or something like that, where you have miles of data and you pile it all up and you figure out what the end result is. Or if you're in business and you want to grow your business, or whatever it is that your aim is, nothing happens right away. You've got to have grit. You've got to be willing to, even if something's repetitive, even if something you can't see the light at the end of the tunnel. I have people in my life right now who they are teaching me how to do some things, and it's not easy. It's all new, and they call it the stage of proximal development, I think, where you're just learning how to do something, so it's really uncomfortable. But you know what? You walk through that, that's grit. And look how happy I am. Like, wouldn't you all like to be happy? I'm saying like. I hate it when people say like, and I just said it about 10 times, which you're not supposed to say on a video. But since these are informal, we're going to get away with it and make mistakes, because I want you to know who I am, faults and all, and to know that I have found a path. And now I'm working on finding a way to share it. Like and subscribe.